All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with
my proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
I still feel like he was lying.
You really think that? Like, honestly, you really think he lied to us about that?
I know he said it and he probably meant it in the moment, but there's no way. I feel like he was lying to us just to make us feel better.
You're telling me that Savage Dragon creator, one of the founders of Image Comics, one of the most influential creators, not just writer or artist, but creator of Spider-Man in the last 40 years, lied to us about being on our podcast?
I feel like he's had prouder moments. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
No, I truly believe we were higher on his list. I mean, having the birth of his kids is not even close to us. Being the creator of Savage Dragon, not even close. I mean, there's nothing else that could compare to being on our show.
I mean, if you say so. I
truly believe that in my heart of hearts. I do. I should.
How you been doing, Kyrun?
Dude, bruh, I am exhausted. My feet hurt, my legs hurt, my body hurts. I mean, I hate that I am in so much pain in places I don't remember I have pain. But you know what? It's been a fun weekend. Yeah, it's been fun, man.
The pleasure, and I'm doing good, man. It's the time and the money and the pain that comes that you have to spend to go to a place like Disney World or Disneyland in your case is always worth it because of the memories. I saw the picture you posted with your family with the lightsabers, and man, like you can't put a price on. I mean, obviously you can put a price on stuff like that, but
there was a big price on that.
There's a big price on it, but it's just something fun, and it's like the experiences, man, that you just don't forget, and it's just great to do. All right, I messed up your intro, so I'll let you.
No. I do want to point out that in that picture that you're seeing with us with our lightsabers, those were all custom built lightsabers. So Disneyland has a section where you can actually go and get the experience of making your own lightsaber. So you get to pick out the crystal color, you get to pick out the hilt and the handle and everything, and it was a dope experience.
Do you get to keep them?
Yeah, you get to keep them.
So you?
Yes.
All right, let me borrow about $5, bro. Let me borrow.
I do not have $5 left after making those lightsabers.
Bro, you out here balling. You don't bought the whole family lightsabers. You bought the whole family lightsabers, bro.
Yes.
All right,
and they were dope.
Listen, during my next my quarterly counseling session, I'm gonna ask for a raise. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and let you know that the next quarter, when we do our our one-on-one counseling session, I'm gonna ask for a raise. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
So you want $10 instead of $5? Is what you're telling me?
Yes, at least $6. I bump it up to $6. I'm good.
All right, so I'm just gonna put this out here right now. I am looking for a new co-host for the Four Tales podcast because brother ain't got money like that. So.
Or at least next time you go, I need a purple lightsaber. That's the one thing that I want. Like my son bought me one, like a $10 Mace Windu lightsaber, and I love it. But I want the real deal to put up here in my studio, man. I want the real deal.
You have to go because, like I said, you get to customize every inch of the lightsaber. So every part of the handle part you get to pick out. So you have to go yourself. I can't just buy it for you. And each lightsaber has a different persona. It's like mine's was nature and elemental. My son's got like justice and peace. So you got to determine what's the best fit for you. So you got to go, man. Let me know when you ride over here to the West Coast and you go to Disneyland. I'll come meet up with you.
Nah.
No.
All
right.
I'll just go down to Florida and get the half experience of that, because it's too expensive.
This okay. All right. Enough of our banter. That's the end of the show. All right, seriously, let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions proudly brings to you the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Kyrun Silver from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the Purple Jedi of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick, and together we are your 2 award-winning blurred comic creators, here to help you find your next favorite comic. Again, we are live, as always, on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and a host of other programs. So if you are listening or watching us live, thank you for support. But please do not forget to subscribe, share, and review this podcast, because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a higher and bigger audience. And if you want to maybe financially support the podcast, go to our website, fourtailspodcast.com, and get you some Four Tails swag like this amazing mug I have here. But enough about us shilling our stuff. Let's bring on today's guest. He is a creator and artist and writer of the book Voyage. He is, and I'm going to mess up his name, even though he told us his name. Zackary. Damn it.
Marois.
All right. Zackary Marois. No, see, nope, that's not it either. Let's bring the man on. All right, tell me again. How do you say it?
Marois.
Nope.
Marois.
See, Marois. I knew that was going to happen.
Marois.
And you know what? The only problem was I trusted Google last week. I looked it up and I was like, I typed in, how do you say this last name? And it brought me to a YouTube link that was saying it was Marois the entire time. And I was like, wow. Yeah, I know how to say it. And then he comes on and he's like, no, that's not how you say that. What are you talking about? That's not how you say that at all. Marois.
Next, we're going to start sending asking people to send a voice clip of how they say their name before the show so we can be better prepared. That's what we're going to start doing.
I'll still screw it up, so it won't matter.
Yeah. Still mess it up.
All right, what's going on, Zackary? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Early in the morning on this side, so just got up recently, but I kind of getting ready for the day to go out and whatnot. So it's so far so good.
Okay. So is it like 7 a.m. for you?
It's actually 10 over here. 10? Yeah, 10:08.
What part of the country you live in?
I live in New Jersey, Bud Lake. Yeah.
Nice. Wait, okay.
This was it Butt Lake or Bud Lake? I'm sorry.
Bud Lake.
Okay. See, my 11-year-old immature body just said butt, and I was like about to laugh. So,
well, it was like I went to the Joe Kubert school for like 3 years, and there was in Dover, and I wanted to stay in Jersey to hopefully get some more contacts and stuff. So I was like, I live nearby, so Dover is only like a 20-minute drive from here.
Nice. All right. Well, since you brought up the Kubert School, tell us about that. How's that experience doing that? Because I know a lot of us, especially artists, have always wanted to be a part of that and get the whole experience. What was your experience like doing that?
Being in the school, it's great in terms of being grinded down to like constant drawing, because that's exactly what I wanted to do, is to just keep drawing and drawing. In the situation that I was in, along with colleagues, was that we were in a shift, so pretty much the Kuberts were shifting out of the school, while Anthony Marquez, an editor at Dynamite, started coming in and taking over the school and whatnot. So pretty much like every single year, there was always something happening with the shift. And there was there's pros and cons to it. But when it comes to the work itself, I mean, I enjoyed the work. I loved all the narrative assignments. Every assignment I pretty much loved. It's just the whole time like I was trashed when I came in. Like before I went to school, I was garbage. So I really liked the fact that I was getting better. But the thing that was always in the back of my head was like, is this piece good? Will I be able to pass this off and whatnot? Will I sell this? And so it was always like a thing like that. Just wanted to get better and better at the artwork.
Nice. Yeah, I've always considered going to Kubert school, but as I got older and had a family, I was like, I can't afford that, and I don't have the time anymore. So it's always good to meet people that have gone through that experience. And it sounds like you at least
You can
recommend
afford
it if you had the possibility of doing it again.
So anybody who's like really trying to improve their artwork and whatnot, I would recommend going to school because the school will make you better because also all you're doing is drawing. Like it's boot camp for artists. But you have to be willing to tear down this mental block that you have where you're like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm a good artist and whatnot. You have to like throw that all away and just kind of just be willing to want to learn. Just accept everything that's being thrown at you instead of being like, well, I'll take, he said my anatomy is wrong and I agree with that, but my background is definitely correct. That's for sure. They're like, no. Whatever they tell you, if it's wrong, it's wrong. And correct it. So, yeah, you just gotta, when you go in, you gotta be willing to open your mind up.
Nice.
I hate critiques. I know one thing that the reason that I don't even post my art online. I love drawing, I love coloring, I love it, but I hate the critiques. That's the one thing that I can't stand. So Kyrun did a piece for me last year that I colored that I still haven't even showed him. And like one of my biggest apprehensions as a creator is just I don't want people to tell me my stuff is bad. And it's a fear that I need to get over because I know that everybody goes through it. I know it's something that every artist goes through, but it's one of those fears that I just can't get past. When it comes to specifically art and music, those two areas, I have a fear of putting my work out there and it being heavily criticized, and I just can't get past it.
I've always gotten the worst critiques since middle school. I've grown to the most you could give me the harshest critique and I'll accept it. I'll eat it face value. And then I'll go back to my piece and I'm like, he is right at this. Like this is, this is wrong or whatever. So when I got to the Kubert school, when it came to critiques, that stuff was super, super easy. The only thing that in the first year, it irritated me little by little every now and then because I had a tendency to redo my assignments like completely. Like I'll stay up the whole night. Like I would constantly stay up like for nights on end just to like get homework done. And then I'll bring it in the next day with like seeing stars like up for critique and they say this is wrong. This is wrong. And I'm like, I just had this corrected. And now it's wrong again. And then I'll go back and I'll do the whole piece over again and have the instructor. And it's cool because the piece got better and better, but in my eyes, I'm just like, how is it still wrong?
Yeah. I think as artists, we all struggle with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's such a subjective nature to art also because everything can be stylized. So I understand when it comes to assignments and they say, okay, I want you to draw this specific thing, but if it's your interpretation as an artist and it's what you create, then how can you say it's wrong or how can you say, you know what I mean? But it's yeah, I feel you on that.
That's a tough one. I think my response to that would be so everyone in the beginning, including myself, we all draw we were all drawing all these different types of things, and then our excuse was when somebody says something, well, that's my style. That's how I decide. That's how I draw it. it's wrong. Like at the end of the day, it's wrong whether it's your style or not, because the thing is you didn't understand the foundation of art, like how to properly draw, for example, like a face, how to properly draw a face and really understand how it works. And then once you do understand that, then you can go ahead and pull back the details and stylize it your way. When I went into, like I said, when I went into the school, and I was drawing, I did see some, some individuals that would say that excuse, but then after they just kind of let it, they ate it and they pretty much went back to the drawing board. They would go ahead and just follow what they said, and then they were able to afterwards, and they were able to push back and stylize it after they fully understood it. So I've seen like great, styles of artwork from like people that went to the school and whatnot. It's just you have to go through the foundation of art first. You have to understand.
Right. Yeah. That foundation is always important to be able to. I mean, even especially with comics and in animation, you have to know, basic anatomy. You got to know how the body works in order to, represent it on paper or in animation. So I 100% agree with you there.
Hey, no yawning on this show. What's going on?
Man, it's early, bro. It's early.
You cannot say it's early to me.
All of us didn't just leave Disney yesterday. You're probably still hopped off that Disney, that Mickey Mouse mask. So
Whatever. All right. So we do want to talk about your book, Voyage. So tell us a little bit about that, like where that idea came from, the story behind it, things like that. Give us some details on that.
So I've had, man. All right.
Oh, he had to stop. He had to stop and
Yeah,
get ready for this.
just figuring out where to start. So like I had the idea since I was in middle school, and it was really about the species um of Sonderon, which he's a Cometan. And I started with the alien species. And before I went to the school, the idea came in 7th grade. So as the years progressed, I never had an individual to represent his species. And it wasn't until the year before the middle school that I had like this dream where it was like this quote unquote defender of his, like of his space sector and whatnot. Very cheesy, very like stupid, but that's like all ideas. All ideas are dumb until you keep working at it and grinding, and then it will become like amazing. So when I went into the school, every single week, man, I was writing pages. I was drawing. I was like doing all these character designs and stuff, and it started fleshing it like one month after another. And then the thing with me is I'm not a writer. Like I know how to draw it visually, put it on paper, but explaining it in full-on detail in a writing format, I have a strong difficulty in that. So I self-published my first graphic novel, Voyage Anthology Volume 1. In this, I started in the 2nd school and it finished in the year following year, my 3rd year. And at that point, one of my colleagues, Brett Malagrano, who has a gift for writing, I asked him for help to go ahead and fine-tune the origin, because my stuff was focusing a lot. I had a lot in the beginning, but I was focusing in the midsection, because a lot of professionals say that if you have an idea for a character, don't worry about the beginning. Start in the middle, because that's what you're currently envisioning them doing. And then when you do that, the key components in the middle of their adventures and whatnot will help give you ideas and solutions to how the beginning of their story will start. And that's what I was doing. So when I asked Brett for help, he took everything that I have for his origin and he found a way to unify it in such a beautiful way that I was like, dude, do you want to become the writer for this? And the way him and I worked together, and made that product. When you read Voyage, that's your first impression of the character. And because of that, Brett is just as much as a co-creator of the character as I am, because you're not just getting what I created and made through the years, you're also getting what Brett has written into it, which gives it its personality, and that's important.
Nice. Now, did Brett continue on with you past that first book, or do you expect using him in the future? What's going
Oh
on with
yeah.
you and him?
So right now, me and Brett are in the middle of some legal stuff when it comes to the character,
Mm.
and we have a big thing planned for it. So basically, Voyage is an ongoing series. For Voyage Melting Pot, it failed on the Kickstarter that was supposed to be my last anthology book with Sonderon, where he was like the host of like a 16 storied anthology book. And I was like, because it didn't work out, I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm going to keep moving forward. I've always intended Sonderon to be an ongoing series. I just didn't have enough finalized in his main story to go ahead and start his series yet. Now I do with Brett. So issue 1 is supposed to launch in Kickstarter in around September, October. So I'm waiting on the script from him right now. I should be getting it this week. And pretty much, essentially, like what Sonderon, like who Sonderon is, he's a Kemetan. Excuse me. He's a Kemetan on the far reaches of space, and he is exiled from his star system. He is tasked to finding these pieces called the Spirit Knot, and this is supposed to unify the universe once more from like generations of pain and suffering and whatnot. It's a story of old that people now just tell their kids at bedtime to make them behave and whatnot. If they misbehave, they tell them a lesson and whatnot. So that it's become passed down generation to generation to people think it's just that stories when it is couldn't be farther than the truth. And so Sonderon, he had his own hero's journey in his own star system, but his star system no one went in. It was secluded because it was considered a cursed system, because that's where all the the BS started. So when he came out and starts this whole adventure, he's basically a baby in the universe. He's the minority in the universe. Doesn't know anybody. Doesn't know how the universe works. Doesn't know how to like talk to people and whatnot. And because of that, he gets used without even knowing it. He has good intentions, but when he does something that he thinks is right, it's a stack of dominoes that just end up hurting him in the end. And we're adding a lot of realistic elements into it so people can relate to the character. So there's going to be a lot of xenophobia, a lot of hatred, because there's a lot of religious background that's included into the Spirit Knot. So when people see that he's a Kemetan, they're like, what's he doing here? Go back to your planet. We don't want you. You don't belong here. And he's just so confused by it because there's only so much that he knows. And he's going to figure out that along the way.
Now, one of the things I want to share for everybody that watches the video of this episode is something I saw on the first Kickstarter you did for Voyage. Let me bring that up really because I thought this was badass.
Oh, Voyage the Call. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And this is Sonderon, drawn by legendary Adam Kubert. Now, explain to us how you got that, because all of us, I'm pretty sure, as comic creators, we've always wanted to have a legendary creator probably draw our character. So how did this come about?
Dude, the best way I can put it is it was being in the right place at the right time. And what I mean by that is I was in the middle of the first anthology Voyage. And it was in the middle of the second year, and I decided to stay for the summer to go ahead and take care of the properties that they had, cleaning them up and whatnot. So I was passing by Adam Kubert in the hallway at the Kubert School in the sub-level, and he's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" So we just like have a conversation. He's like, "Yeah, last summer you're doing that book. How's that going?" I was like, oh, it's all good, you know. And as I was talking, it was like I said a couple things where it was like, you know, these guys are like family to me. You know, I treat them as family, and I just want the best for them. So that's why I'm making this book. Then he just goes ahead and says, "Is there anything I can do for it?" And I was like, I was kinda like, you know, flabbergasted at that. And he's like, you know what? Think about what you want me to do for the book, and then come back to me on Monday, because it was Friday when he approached me. And I was just shocked. I was so shocked and stunned. I was really thinking about. I was like, is it too much to ask for a drawing of the character and stuff? So I had to sit on that. I was asking some people. They're like, dude, do it. Just freaking do it. And then I was kind of like, when I saw him on Monday in the office, I was like, he's like, oh, so have you thought about what you want me to do? And I was like, yeah, so you know, would you like to draw? Yeah, care, you know, it doesn't have to be a full background. Yeah, then yeah. He's like, consider it done. I was like, no way. He's like,
I love it.
and then he finishes it up and hits me up a couple weeks or a few weeks later. He's like, here, come in the office. I got something for you. And he hands me that, and I have the original on my wall, and I was just like stunned. It was a little emotional because I was like, damn, bro, that's amazing. So that kind of told me that what I'm doing, even though it wasn't fully fleshed out at the time, I'm on the right path to something. So whatever failure that I have along the way with this character and the story doesn't matter, because stuff like that are like key things for me to let me know that I just need to keep going, because I got an awesome idea, and I just got to keep pushing for it.
That's dope, man.
And so I'm sorry to continue on it. My thing is, in sci-fi comics, there's not that much like sci-fi going around right now in comic books, and I've never seen, besides Avatar, the Na'vi people, I've never really seen, and I don't count Star Wars either, a main character who's an alien, and you follow his adventures, you know, where there's no humans involved, and you go throughout the story. And you know, Martian Manhunter and those characters don't count because they're superheroes. They've been in that superhero game and whatnot. So, like, if I'm watching the Predator movie, I'd like to see a movie where it's just about the Predator and the Predator's point of view. You know, is he really the bad guy? You know, who knows? It's just
So it comes naturally.
Yeah. So I was like, this is how Voyage is going to be. Sondron is going to be that main character, as an alien, and you're going to follow it with no human involvement, and you're just going to be nothing but a sci-fi like melting pot.
I love that. I love that.
I love it.
Right.
So you told us about, you mentioned that your last Kickstarter failed, and before the show, we discussed a little bit that, you know, both Kyrun and I have had Kickstarters that, well, I've had multiple Kickstarters that failed. Kyrun's only had one, you know.
Why you gotta throw me under the bus like that? Like I'm some type of man. Go ahead.
It must be nice, man. It must be nice. No, but I know for me, when our Annihilation Day Kickstarter didn't get funded, it hurt. You know, it hurt because I had put a lot of work into it, and you know, not to be able to do that project, you know, kind of set me back. You know, I thought that I was doing the right thing by putting the book out, and I thought that it was what people wanted. We had Silver, we had, you know, all of our main characters were going to be in it. You know, I did animate. I learned how to do, you know, you know, we put together good packages and stuff like that, and it just didn't work out. But I did learn, you know, some valuable lessons from it, you know, being unsuccessful. So, how did it go for you? Did you learn from that? Or are you going to keep pushing, or did you bring any lessons from it, or
I'm still going through. It's a struggle. I have a lot of frustration, a lot of anger right now. So, you know, because it's not just by myself. I was looking over 23 other Kubert school individuals, and like, we're all graduates, you know, and my job was to go ahead and make sure that we got that book made, and I failed on that. And I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I failed on that. And I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted, and I pretty much gave the people what they wanted and so it was very disheartening to see it like take the money that it did and didn't fund, because it was a 200-page hardcover graphic novel with a dust jacket with it's everything that like people want pretty much, unique stories, phenomenal artwork. Even the Kickstarter video had its own flair. I made the Sonderon costume, to have my instructor wear it, interviewing me and whatnot. So all these little things that I thought would be like, these are going to grab the people. And to see it fun, it's a struggle, but I'm not going to let that stop me, because it's kind of like, it's weird because I could go ahead and say that the people don't know what they want until they try it. Like, unless you try, unless you read a book, you're not going to know if you're going to like it or not. It's the same thing with Melting Pot. You see a lot of these, NSFW stuff, and they fund like crazy, like all the time. Whether the art is subpar to extremely like professional level, and and then you have like a book that's just amazing from beginning to end on every level, and it's like a push and pull battle. And so it's a learning curve for me, and I just got to take what I got from that and just keep moving forward from that. So I just need some time to kind of be away from everything, just to keep, just to like gather some stuff up and then hit it again.
Nice.
For sure.
All right. Well, I think this might be our best time to go into the second part of our show.
I think it's time for Quicktakes.
I was just saying that, dude. You gonna talk over me like that? All right. If you've never seen our show before, Quicktakes is sort of a rapid fire segment where Danny's going to ask you some questions that he's found scouring your social media. There's a little bit of a stalking there. But yeah, let's get into this.
I'm ready.
Quicktakes.
Uh-oh.
To answer as quickly as possible off the top of your head. Question number 1. I saw that you took some time off a couple years ago, and you did something to me that's considered extreme, because I don't like water and I don't like boats and I don't like paddles. But you went paddle boarding. Is that something that you do to relax? And I just want you to kind of explain paddle boarding for me and Kyrun and what it does for you.
So it's one of my colleagues' house. I went over there, and he just pretty much goes ahead and asked me, he's like, hey, you should try this out. And I was like, dude, I don't surf. I was like, that's not how you do it. Just go on, you got to stand on it and then, paddle. And I was like, okay. So it took a quick while to like learn, but I pretty much got it. And it's just, you just stand on a rocking paddle, and you just got to like maintain your balance, and then just, one stroke on each side of the water and just push forward. But dude, it's wicked fun. Honestly, if you haven't tried it yet, I think it's better than kayaking.
I'm gonna pass on that. I try to stay out of the water as often as possible, but but I am intrigued by stuff like that. Now that I'm getting older, me and my wife are I'm trying to find some horseback riding lessons for her, and I might do some stuff on the water with the kids, maybe, or I might just take them out and let them experience the water, because it's too late for me.
I gotta ask though, Danny, can you swim?
I can swim.
Okay.
I can swim, but I don't enjoy trying not to drown. That's
Okay.
all that swimming is to me, is trying not to drown, and I don't enjoy that. So stay out of the water.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. So question number 2. Who was your favorite celebrity that you met during your time at the Kubert school?
Oh my god. Todd McFarlane the second time. I met him the second time. First time was in 2010, but I don't really count that because it was such a quick pass through. But the second time, I found he wasn't even on the roster, and then he just showed up last minute because the whole Spawn issue 300 record-breaking issue, and then I just ran up and I kind of was like, dude, let me see him, and I was just meeting him. Kind of had to me it was a touching moment. He signed my issue 1 of Spawn, but I just it was a whole respect thing. And I got in for free. I was the only person that didn't pay out everyone.
Wow. Hey, that's a great moment right there. I absolutely can see why you would why you make that number 1. I love it. Okay. So number 3. This is a question that I'm starting to ask more and more people, because recently I got into some controversy about big cons versus little cons. Okay, so I've seen you've been to comic book conventions. What do you prefer, bigger shows or smaller shows?
Okay, so that's kind of a toughie. I'm kind of in the middle with that. The one thing I don't appreciate about the bigger shows is that they have to pull their weight by getting all these celebrities. So the bigger shows is more about the mainstream media of celebrities and the high end top popular artists. Whereas the little shows, it really gives a spotlight on all the little guys, and even the individuals. Let's say Tom Mandrake and Jan Dursema. Those guys are hard hitters in the industry, but for some reason they're not as well known as Tom McFarlane, for example. But they're just as important. And so yeah, the little shows I'll probably prefer more so than the bigger ones.
You see, Kyrun? I told you I was right.
When did I say that? Never mind. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you throwing me under the bus, dude.
It's what I do. It's what I do, sir.
Yeah,
all right. So, question number 4: do you prefer? And I think I know the answer because I see what you're doing right now. But do you prefer traditional art, pen and paper and ink and colors, or digital, and why?
I like traditional. I gotta practice more digitally, honestly, because there's a lot of good stuff that you can do. I mean, and a lot of time that you can save. But personally, for me, I love traditional because the nibs, the brushes, focus markers, all this different stuff that you can use. Plus, it's going to give you more of an understanding to use these materials when you go to shows, because you can make more money when somebody is like, "Can you draw me something on the fly?" And you can do that. Whereas there is a struggle with people who do digital, where they have a hard time trying to do some traditional stuff because their hands are not used to that. They're so used to that pad than it is on paper.
Hey, I see. I like that. I like that. I know I like going to shows and getting commissions from artists, and I have my traditional stuff is highly regarded in my house. So but as a comic book producer, as somebody who makes and publishes comics, I absolutely appreciate digital work. And it a lot of times it can be a lot faster and it's easier to reproduce and to sell to people. But I collect the traditional stuff. So we'll just say that. All right. Last but not least, I see, especially with your series, and I've seen other things that you posted online. I want to know, what are your top 5 sci-fi series of all time?
Okay. Let's see. First one's got to be Weird Science. All the EC comics from back in the 40s. Those are powerhouse hitters right there. So I group them as one. Second one have to be Avatar, because it really focuses on the Na'vi people. I'm so sick and tired of Jake within that. And plus Jan Dursema draws it. The third one has to be The Gardener by Matt Emmons, who launched his Kickstarter and funded. Dude, that book kicks ass. It's so good. The fourth one has to be now I'm at a loss with that one. stuck on the name.
I just
It
keep
happens all
going.
the time, man.
Yeah, I can't think of the name right now. That sucks. But those are my three right now. I kind of
Hey,
mainstream comics is I'm not really grabbed by mainstream comics like I was anymore, because I've seen it's like beating a horse with a stick like over and over again. I'm just seeing all these ideas that they've just been using for so many years, and they do it the same thing over and over again, and it's just so tiring. Where indie comics are, oh my god, just great stuff.
some good ideas out there, man. Some good ideas. There's a book called Starcore that's coming out pretty soon. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a pretty good looking book, man. You know, it's I think it's coming to Kickstarter soon. It's got kind of a sci-fi, you know, comedy thing to it. So I think you should probably check that one out. But thanks for thanks for doing that.
No, you're welcome, man. I was actually gonna say Upstarts from Kickstarter was also a great book too, sci-fi. I was really impressed with that.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, back to you, Kyrun.
This week's Quick Takes were brought to you by Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. Get your copy of this 200-page anthology, which includes artwork by myself, at CthulhuInvades.com. And you know what? So we do want to go ahead and make sure that we allow any of our fans to find your work, Zackary. So where can people check out your work, your commissions, things like that?
On Instagram and Twitter, Zackary's Art, all lowercase. On Facebook, it's Zackary Marois, just my name. And DeviantArt is Zach175. You can message me there. So, yeah, those are the best places to reach me. I am open for commissions. I'm taking quite a few right now. Let me show you one of the pieces I've been working on, because again, I love Apex Legends. So I don't know if you can see that.
Hold on, let's highlight you. There we go. Nice. I think I actually saw the black and white of this on your Facebook page a couple days.
Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. I'll be posting that on Instagram pretty soon. So I'm kind of like fingers crossing on the colors right now. I don't want to mess them up.
Nice. All right. And Danny, what about you? Where can we get all your work at?
If you're looking for me, the best place to find Ace Blade Supreme and Lumberjacks is fourthwallpros.com. And if you want the social medias, it's the Ace Blade on all socials. What about you, Kyrun? Where find you?
Is King Supreme actually still with Fourth Walls, or didn't he leave?
Yeah, he's still Fourth Wall.
Okay.
Me and Wally co-own King Supreme, so that's the Fourth Wall and One Emperor's production.
I just never seen any promotion from you or Morgan for King Supreme, so it's it's all about Ace Blade Lumberjack, and seems like King Supreme's just being shoved to the side a little bit, but that's
don't do that. don't
I'm just gonna sip my tea here. So
no. Now who's throwing who under the bus? Kyrun?
All right. You can find my work at tauruscomics.com. I am on Facebook, facebook.com/tauruscomics, and also on Twitter and Instagram at tauruscomics. And if this is your first time checking out the Foretales podcast, you can go back to our website and get all our old episodes from season 1 and this season of season 2. That is at foretalespodcast.com. That's the number 4, TALES podcast.com. But join us in 2 weeks when we have our next amazing guest, which is going to be JG Traveler. He's going to talk to us about his mega series that he has coming up. But until next time, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Music provided by my brother, Quicks Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.